try to go through here pretty quick. If you need to rewind to watch it, that's fine. We're going to factor trinomials. So we're factoring trinomials. This is part one. As we go through here, some of this is new. It's new for me teaching it, but it's good, and I really like it. So let's go through and do some examples. Just some refresher. These first couple tells us to multiply. Let's distribute these. So I'll draw our lines. Just multiply it all out. 5x times x, that's 5x squared. I'll do 5x times 5. That's going to give me 25x. That's positive, so we make that plus. 2 times x, that's going to give me plus 2x. And 2 times 5, that's going to be plus 10. Again, this is just review. You can combine these. That would be 27x. Again, plus 10. And our 5x squared at the first. Alright. Just a little bit of refresher right there. Same steps here. X times x. X times negative 5. 4 times x. 4 times negative 5. That's going to be x squared. Negative 5x plus 4x, that's going to end up with just a negative x, and then 4 times negative 5, that's where I'm going to get minus 20. Alright, now, getting into the new stuff. We're going to factor trinomials, which have 3 terms. So it's something plus something plus something, or these could be minuses as well. Same thing, 3 terms, trinomials. And this method is called the rooftop method. You're going to hear me refer to that several times. Okay. Stay with me here. This is all these words. This is a description. And as we go through and do some examples, you'll see how it makes sense. I'm not even going to read these. I'm going to go right into it. The first thing we got to do, so step 1, we got to multiply the first and last terms. So we're doing A. This is the example we're working with. First and last terms. That's 5x squared and 10. If we multiply those together, we get 50x squared. Okay. Step 2 says find the numbers that add to equal the middle term. The middle term is 27. Tell you what, I'll just go ahead and highlight it in blue. Middle term is in blue. They add to equal 27x, and multiply to give you what we just did in step 1, which is 50x squared. Some of you guys, we showed you this. We can use this little puzzle to help us out. At the top, we're going to put what we just got, 50x squared. At the bottom, we're going to put that middle term, which is, in this case, 27x. Okay? Now, the numbers that go here and here are going to multiply together to give me 50x squared and add together to give me 27x. So, like over here to the side, if you want to write it, you have your x. We're going to have 2 numbers right here, a number and a number. When we multiply them together, that's what we get up here. We get multiplication. When we multiply them together, that's the number we get right there. Down here is when you add them together. That's the number you're going to get right there. So something times something gives me 50x squared. Well, I know they both need an x. What times what gives me 50? Well, there's 1 and 50, 2 and 25. Well, let's think 2 and 25, because this bottom down here is a 27. Well, if I said 2x plus 25x, that's going to give me 27x. Yes, that's what I want. So we're going to use 2, and I kind of cut myself short, but 25x. All right. Now we have these terms. That's what we're looking for right there. We want those 2. We're going to take those 2 numbers and we're going to replace the middle term. So our blue term, we're going to replace it with those numbers. So instead of having 27x right here, we're going to have 2x plus 25x. And then we still have 5x squared at the front. And we still have 10 at the back. And that's plus 10. And this is a positive 2x, so that's a plus right there. All right, now we have a new equation. The next step, and it tells you, so now we're on number 4, group the first two terms and the last two terms. So the first two terms are 5x squared and 2x. So we're going to group those together with parentheses. We're also going to group together the last two terms with parentheses, which is the 25x and 10. All right, now number 5 says factor the greatest common factor of each group. What remains in the parentheses should be the same for both sides. So basically what we're doing, factor this side, factor this side. All right, what can I take out of 5x squared and 2x? What do they have in common? Well, I think they have an x in common, so I'm going to take the x out. X, and then x times 5x gives me 5x squared. X times 2 gives me 2x. Okay, there's that side. Now do the same thing for this side. 25x plus 10, what does that have in common? What can I factor out? They both have a 5. Okay, 5 times 5x would give me 25x. 5 times 2 would give me 10. Okay, we factored that out. And this is what the step says. What's in the parentheses should be the same for both groups. So what's in the parentheses? 5x plus 2 and 5x plus 2. They are the same, so we know we did it right. The last step to do this thing, to get the right answer, group the greatest common factors. So the greatest common factors are x and 5. So we're doing step number 6 right here. Greatest common factors. All right. And rejoin the two groups from step 5 together as one. So what we're going to do, we're going to take x and join it with 5. And this is a positive 5. That's a plus right here. So x plus 5. That's going to be one of our set of parentheses. And then the last set is what we used in the parentheses, which is 5x plus 2. We successfully factored out this trinomial using a efficient way, the rooftop method. There's several new steps. This is new, which might be scary at first, but the more practice problems you do, the easier this becomes. And this would be our answer for this problem. All right, let's do B. Same steps. First thing we did, multiply these together, which gives us negative 20x squared. All right, set up our x. Got negative 20x squared on top. The middle term in this problem is negative x. So that's what goes right here, negative x. I got to figure out what times what gives me negative 20x squared, and the same two numbers added together gives me negative x. Think negative 20x squared. I know I'm going to have an x. And I'm thinking negative 5 and 4. Because negative 5 plus 4, negative 5x plus 4x would give me negative x. Negative 5x times 4x would give me negative 20x squared. That's what we're going to replace this middle term with. So now our new equation is x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 20. All right, we group the first two terms and the last two terms. We can factor these out now. We can take an x out, so that's going to be x times, to get x squared is x. To get negative 5x would just be minus 5. Over here, we can take a 5, or not a 5, a 4, because that's 4 and 20. The only thing they have in common is the 4. It is positive. So that's going to be x, because 4 times x gives me 4x. 4 times negative 5. Notice x minus 5, x minus 5. I know I'm doing it right. The final answer is going to be x plus 4 put in parentheses, times x minus 5. Got our correct answer using the same steps. All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll finish the rest tomorrow in class. C, here we go. First, and a step I've been missing, I haven't been talking about. Look at the trinomial. Is there anything that you can factor out from the beginning? No. This is odd. There's nothing that all three of these have in common. So let's do our steps. Multiply them. That's going to be 8x squared. So we set up our x. You have 8x squared on the top. In the bottom we have 17x. What times what gives me 8x squared? When you add them together, it gives me 17x. You can think about it, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. There's no way I can get 17. This one is a prime. It cannot be done. It is prime. So that one's done. Because there's no way, there's nothing I can multiply. There's no two numbers right here that I can multiply to give me 8x squared and add to give me 17x. Can't multiply it, be 8x squared, and give me 17x. There's no two numbers. All right, last example that we'll do. Anything we can take out? No. They don't have a 3 in common because it's 17, so there's nothing. So here we go. We're going to multiply the outsides. That gives me 30x squared. All right. The middle term is negative 17x. What times what gives me 30? Well, there's 1 and 30. That can't give me 17. There's 2 and 15. 2 and 15 can give me 17. Okay, this is positive. This is negative. I'm thinking this is going to be negative 2x and negative 15x. Negative 2 times negative 15 is 30. X times x squared. Negative 2 minus 15 is negative 17. Yes, that's what I'm replaced with. So rewrite this 3x squared minus 2x minus 15x plus 10. All right, now we group them together. Okay. Over here we can take out an x, which gives me 3x minus 2. Over here we have negative 15 plus 10. The negative stays out in front, so leave the negative out here. What can we take out? 15, 10, a 5. 5 times 3x. And this is negative 5, because negative 5 times 3x gave me the negative 15. Negative 5 times what gives me positive 10? Negative 5 times negative 2. And again, what's in parentheses? We want it to be the same. It has to be the same or we didn't do it right. 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2. It's a good way to check yourself. All right, so in the first parentheses we have x minus 5 because we have x right here and we have minus 5 right here. Oh, that's a terrible 5. And over here we have 3x minus 2. All right. Well, we can do the other two tomorrow in class. Hope you have a good evening. This is a new method. Don't give up on it. It's efficient. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Hope you have a great evening.